I'm on pins and needles now.
Let's do the show. Let's see what happens, baby.
It's just
Yeah.
Bands you've heard of.
Hello and welcome to Bands You've Never Heard of. I'm JR.
and I'm Gary.
I don't know why I put on an NPR voice just now, but that's what happened.
Well, because of our old podcast, which was Small Things Considered, which we
that's
completely,
right.
utterly ripped off from NPR. So
Yes.
so we always tried to get the NPR voice.
Yeah.
We didn't have the correct NPR names though.
No, I'm JR Stoffel is not an NPR name.
No, neither's Gary Hawthorne.
I don't know. I think I could make Gary Hawthorne work as an NPR name.
It possibly could. The Gary Hawthorne language would not work on NPR though.
No. I want to see an NPR podcast with explicit next to it. That'd be great. All right, Gary. We're at the point where we are getting contacted more frequently by other people wanting us to feature their bands on our show. Yeah.
So we have another one.
We do have another one.
That is awesome.
And I've got another one waiting in the wings that I have to analyze their music and decide if they're good enough. But this one is completely different than what we normally do, but still very much what we normally do. Let me explain. I'm going to read to you the email I received in bits and pieces. You can stop me anytime you have a comment or question, Gary.
Okay.
And I'm curious what you would say if you received this email. Would you greenlight this episode or not?
Ooh.
Hi. I really enjoyed the last episode with 434. Off to a good start. Especially the piece about the rock and roll sermon vibe and those stories about their Central Virginia roots and how they landed their number name. You and Gary's band discovery moments always make the show feel wired into music history in a way I don't hear anywhere else. So appropriate buttering up of
I'm feeling nicely lathered now.
Yes.
I like that.
Correct.
And please send us as much email like that as
Yes.
possible.
We're off to a wonderful start. On that theme, I have someone for bands you've never heard of who bridges the indie past and present in an entirely fresh way. Debora Masterson. She's an LA-born, Chicago-based musician and author whose debut novel, Freedom Quest, A Love Story, pairs a true band's beginning in the 1970s and the stories behind the scenes. The Freedom Quest album streams now, offering an actual hidden band for you and your listeners to discover and to explore how music lives on in storytelling.
Holy shit, yeah, I'd be jumping on that shit.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's what I thought too. More from the email. Deborah toured as a dancer and background singer after getting recruited by Sammy Davis Jr., founded one of the first boutique post-production agencies, and went on to produce PBS documentaries. So we really do need our NPR voices later on for this.
Oh, we will need that.
Still performing on electric bass, she stays true to her roots as both musician and creative entrepreneur. Her book combines live music history with a real companion soundtrack. Plus, she knows the ins and outs of surviving and innovating in creative careers. I believe Deborah would be a perfect fit for your show, given her journey and Freedom Quest's unique blend of lore, music, and story. Let me know if you'd like to hear more.
Wow. Yes, that's 1,000%. Yes.
Okay, good. So we're on the same page with that. I thought this sounded like a pretty cool spin on what we do here.
Yeah. So okay. So I'm taking it that she's possibly older than I am.
Possibly.
At least my age.
Sure.
Was she in the band that she describes in the 70s?
So here's where
we know that yet.
Here's where the mystique begins, buddy.
Okay, so
there
we
is
don't know.
Plenty of mystique to go around. I mean, I've read interviews with Deborah. I started the book. They sent me a PDF copy of the book, and I haven't had time to read the entire thing. So I have had to resort to some Cliff Notes versions of the book. So I know the story. And I know the characters, the main characters in this love story, Michael and Grace. and I see how it begins, and there's a nice beginning. The beginning of the book starts with the end of the story, kind of Quentin Tarantinoizing it. So it does some cool stuff like that. It seems like a story. I'm 50 pages in, and I will keep reading this story long after we've recorded this podcast. And it is a distant memory, right? I'll have moved on to other bands and other books, but I will have this one it loaded up. It's on my iPad, so I can read it every evening and right until I fall asleep, which is what happens. So anyway, the book is good. The music that goes along with the book is good. And I have a lot of thoughts on that already, and I can't wait to hear yours. But I don't know who was in this actual band. The band is called Freedom Quest. The book is called Freedom Quest, A Love Story. So have you ever heard?
But it is a nonfiction.
It is a fiction story. It is like semi-historical fiction. Those are questions we'll need to ask Deborah later when we interview her on the second half of this show.
All right. Well, I think I will be able to determine that when we hear the music.
Well, okay.
I really do think I will.
I mean, I have yet to get to a page in the book where any song on this album I've been listening to is directly correlated. So I don't know how the band from the 70s.
Oh, how the band would fit into
the book. Right. So I think for all intents and purposes,
the album is not it's not a album of Freedom Quest from the 70s.
It is. The album is definitely from a band called Freedom Quest from the 70s.
Okay, so I will be able to tell you whether it's fiction or not.
Okay. Having not read the book, you'll still be able...
read the book. No, purely from the production. Purely from the production.
Okay, interesting. Well, we should get right into it then. All right, here's the Spotify page for the band Freedom Quest. What are your first impressions with the picture you're seeing, their album art, and that's all I'm just showing you stuff now. I'm not going to play you stuff yet.
Right. That looks, I mean, that could definitely be a real 70s picture. It's fuzzy enough, I think.
Yeah.
But then again, I do need new glasses. So, but yeah, it looks, if it is from the 70s, it's been updated just a smidge as far as the color palette. But it could definitely, I think it could definitely be what we would term as real.
And these people in this picture are either real people from the 70s wearing their normal, average, everyday clothes, or their costume designer is on point.
Yeah. And it's pretty basic stuff too. They're not doing any outlandish stuff, which is a little bit of might be a little bit of a throw out, or it might be a wide pitch, because if you were in a band in the 70s, you typically did not look like everybody else, but that looked like my graduating class right there.
There you go.
So when I lived in this, and that, I mean, I could be in the middle of that.
Yeah,
there are no nerdy people there.
This is what all the adults around me looked like when I was born in 74. Yeah. So as I was old enough to start noticing how people were dressing, this is what everybody looked like. I remember this. So when I got this email, I started to do some research. First off, is this real? Is this fake? Is this AI? Is this a real thing? All signs point to it being a real PR person, really representing an author named Debora Masterson, and that there's a real album of songs to go with it. So I went to Spotify and searched for Freedom Quest and found this, and was able to correlate this with some historical facts about Debora Masterson, because as you can see here, the album is called Freedom Quest. The person who is responsible for it as the artist, as listed on Spotify, is named Craig Ingraham.
Okay, and I'm sure that you looked him up.
From what I can find, he and Debora Masterson were a thing, and I'm pretty sure he has passed away.
Huh?
So Debora Masterson remains, and she has done other music with Craig Ingram. And so part of what I want to know is what are we featuring on this episode of Bands You've Never Heard of?
All right, so here's my first thing from not I haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah.
Okay. 1970. We're just going to call it the 70s. And from the looks of it, it would be the later 70s, not the earlier 70s. The album is 7 songs lasting 42.7 minutes.
Yep.
They were cramming that much music onto an LP at that time.
Yeah, these are long songs.
That,
if you look at the
that would
runtime.
be possible. Yeah, and the second part is, and that was the second part of it. That is not a odd amount, not odd times for song length for that, because this is the era, this is the opening era of FM radio,
Yeah.
and gone were the 3-minute songs. They're like, oh no, we're going to play entire album sides. So we don't care if that's 1 song or 10. We're playing the whole album side.
Yeah.
And they would come on and they would go, hey, hey cats, we're getting ready, we're 47 seconds away from, and they would count it down. Set your recorder, set your boom box or set your cassette recorder. We're going to go in, 10, 9, 8, 7, and count it right down to where you would hit your record so you could get that album. I mean, piracy did not wait until Napster. I mean, the difference was that was a perfect copy, and this was, depending on your tape machine, B, how many times you've already recorded on that tape, which for a lot of our friends were many,
Right.
And see how well you're picking up that FM station in your bedroom.
And the FM broadcasts have limited frequency response in their bandwidth. So yeah. So lot of things going against it. But
so far so good. The picture fits. The songs fit. The lengths fit. And the length of the whole album fits, and the length of they were pushing the envelope. I'm not gonna say no, because technically you could get 40 minutes, 20 minutes aside. Some people said 22. Now you can only get like 18 minutes aside because they want more fidelity.
Yeah.
But back in the 70s, they didn't really care about fidelity so much.
Okay, we're gonna start with
everything is fitting so far.
So we're gonna play some music now, and we have 7 songs to choose from. The shortest one, and the one we're going to start with, also happens to be my favorite of these 7 songs. After we play this first song, we'll probably play clips of many of the rest of the songs, because there's not time to play all.
No, not all 42 minutes of songs. No,
I mean, there's an 8.5-minute song on here, a 7-minute song on it. So we've got a lot of stuff to choose from. But as I've been listening to this, I've been hearing different things, and I'm curious what you're going to pick up from it. So I almost just told you all my thoughts on these albums, on these songs, but we're going to wait till after we hear this song, which is called, and it's the first song on the album Freedom Quest by, I'm pretty sure, the band Freedom Quest. And the song is called My Time Has Come.
Unfriendly to me, a river laced with evil potion. That's what I've got running through me. I used to watch the mountains fall, everyone I'd see, but my time has come. The mountain's coming down on me. Somebody save me! Storm is coming, Lord, it ain't no fun. Somebody hide me! The mountain's falling faster than I can run. Somebody help me, please! gonna stop this game. Sticks and stones have broke my bones. Words have always seemed to hurt me. I'm a rolling stone that gathers moss. I've seen my luck desert me. Now my woman smiles with passion into my best friend. Oh, my time has come. These games are gonna end. I need some comfort. My body's aching, torn and racked with pain. I need some answers. Stop this nasty pounding in my brain. My train's a concert. My train is coming just around the bend. Oh, my time is come. These games are gonna end.
There you go, Gary. That's My Time Has Come by Freedom Quest. Your thought?
Okay, so here it is. Here's my take. Instrumentation, definitely bang on. The and holy crap, that guy's falsetto kills. And we can only assume that is Craig that is singing. Holy crap, that is a awesome falsetto. And that's coming from a guy who has none, doesn't do any at all. But the instrumentation it clicks the boxes. As far as like the frequency response and everything is pretty good. There's one thing that it is not mixed. I mean, at the very worst, at the very least, it is real and has been remastered. But the one thing that's grabbing me by the ear is the mix is not a 70s mix. They went for hard pans. And this one is more of a rainbow, like the way we mix now, especially the way we mixed in 2011. Now, everything else, the frequency response, because it's truncated, there's no big kick drum, there's no, the bass comes from the bass, not the kick. The drums are mixed a little too high. But they're right in the center, and that's not the way they mixed it. What possibly could have been was they brought their original 32 track 2-inch reels and mixed it. They tracked it. What I'm saying is it could have been tracked in the 70s and mixed in the 2000s.
Okay.
It definitely was mastered in the 2000s
Okay.
because of the cleanliness of it. But the only thing that really is holding me back from going, oh, this is the real shit, is the mix is not right for the 70s. I mean, if you go back and listen to any, especially lower budget, I'm not talking Steely Dan 70s music, which is, literally some of the best production ever recorded to, committed to vinyl. But I'm talking your um shit. All of a sudden I'm like bleep. But pretty much anything else other than Steely Dan. You know, one da, 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 da. Supertramp.
Okay. Yeah.
And they were good. That was high budget shit there, but it still shit's going over here and over here and over here. That was the big thing in the 70s because that was the introduction to stereo radio. And if you wanted to be a hit, even the DJs had two microphones so they could go do this and do this and do this, and it would go into different people's speakers. And that was it was also, they had what was called quadraphonic stereo, quadraphonic stereo. So you had four speakers, two front, two rear, and there was a little thing where when they mastered it onto the disc, it would push stuff into the different speakers, either front or rear, as opposed to just left and right. And that was the big thing. So you made as much space in the music, in the mix as possible. And this one is a little too focused to be from that era.
Well,
especially for a band trying to break into the big time from that era.
so does your gut tell you this was actually recorded in the 70s and then mastered later, or is it possible that this is a more recent recording made to sound like the 70s?
I need to hear a couple more.
Okay.
Or at least snippets thereof. Because right now I would say I think it was recorded in real time
in the 70s
and then mixed. But they, on any given song you can fake it. I mean, if it is fake, goddamn, they're good. I mean, it's this, and they've definitely worked during that time, but what they didn't do during that time was mix albums.
If you played that song for me fresh, like the first time I heard that song, my first thought was, this is the sound of the 70s. Like, this is what the 70s
for sure.
sounded
Absolutely.
like.
Yeah, I mean, it's
even though I've never heard this song before, it has the sound of the 70s.
Oh, 100%. I mean, and I don't want to, this is not I'm not saying this maliciously, but it represents the generic sound of the 70s 100%. You got the female, you got the female vocals, you got the male vocals, the high parts, the all the different keyboards going on. Keyboards were big. The only thing they were missing were some horns or strings. But as a not, I mean, they were obviously not a signed band. They were not a major label
right
project. So they didn't have the money for all that, which is once again why I am leaning toward hopefully that was recorded in the 70s. Well, actually, I don't really care, hopefully or not. It's good music and it's great 70s music.
Yeah.
I lived in that, and I absorbed a lot of it because I listened to that radio that played this kind of music. I used
Yeah.
WQUT out of Kingsport, Tennessee, and man, they would play this stuff. They would go out of their way to find random, obscure bands to play for you because that's what it was all about, was discovering new music.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when I listened to that for hours on end. And if you had it, especially if you were listening to it in headphones, and that was a big thing in the 70s, getting a real big old set of
Big
headphones,
cans.
big cans, and with big, nice, cushy things, because that way you could crank it up and your parents wouldn't yell at you. But the whole idea behind listening to it in headphones is have shit going on here and here, and that was, I mean, at the cheapest recordings, and the cheaper the recordings were, I mean, the less money they had to spend for them, the more pronounced that was.
Yeah.
You'd have all the vocals over here and all the drums over here,
Uh-huh.
and somewhere over here there'd be the guitar, and the bass would be down here. I mean, you're just like, oh, you didn't have to take drugs. You could just hide on, pound a couple of Mountain Dews and turn it on. And
How about the musicianship on that song?
that was also very 70s. The riffs were not influenced by the Berkeley College of Music. They were raw. The tones were raw. Everything about it, just saying that, but except for until you got to the piano solo, which
Mm.
and that was like, there's a kid who's been in piano lessons since 6 years old, which tracks.
Yeah.
Everything about it tracks. That's where I'm standing. That's where I'm sitting right now. That's why I'm excited about it, because everything about this tracks as a band who recorded a record in the 70s may not have ever gotten released.
I've kind
But
of
and
have
that's
that
what I'm
feeling.
starting to think, that it may never have gotten released. And this guy Craig and Deborah was like, "Hey man, I'm going to write about our. I want to write a book about our band." And he goes, "Well, I've still got those tapes.
Yeah.
I'm recording. I'm making my own damn backstory. Dude, I don't care."
You might be
Uh,
very much right on. In one of the
like,
interviews I read, she had the idea for this in 2011. I was like, huh, that's the year this album got dropped onto Spotify, according to Spotify right now. All right.
mhm.
So it's entirely possible that her and Craig had this conversation. But I don't think she started writing the book proper until many years later. Uh,
Hmm.
it was like five or
What's the
6 years ago.
copyright on the book?
Oh, it's not released yet. It is coming out soon.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Freedom Quest, A Love Story, is coming soon, April 21st, 2026. So this episode will go out that same week.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were like on the cutting edge
We
of
are
like
part of the PR
everything.
plan for this book, baby. Yeah, it's
Wow.
called Freedom Quest: A Love Story by Debora Masterson, illustrated by Mary Quinlan. If you're watching this episode on YouTube or Spotify, you're seeing the book cover. You can pre-order it right now on Amazon. I have an advanced copy, and like I said, I'm 50 pages in, and I'm digging it quite a bit. And from what I've seen of a summary of the rest of the book, I haven't even gotten to the gritty shit yet. Like, it's about to
Mm.
get real. Like, it's still in happy times right now. But there is drug addiction, separation, infidelity. There are
The
some very
70s.
there
Yeah.
are some very low lows in the lives of this couple, Michael and Grace, in the book. And so yeah, that's what's coming at you if you are interested in the book. called Freedom Quest, which is the companion for the album called Freedom Quest, which we are listening to now. Gary, I played you My Time Has Come. There's 6 other songs to choose from. We will not get to all of them, so choose wisely. I do not have a preference. I do not have an order, so you
All
get
right.
to choose based on the song
to honor
title.
this to honor the 70s, Calling You My Brother.
Calling You My Brother by Freedom Quest.
I'm sitting here thinking of the times I spent without love. It reminds me of the hungry millions, lonely and without love. So I make a wish and say a prayer and hope that things will be alright. Drift into the magic of the early morning sunlight. And I wish that we could find a way to get back home to love again. Stop the madness that surrounds us. Are there eyes too blind to see that we've got to live together? Sadness can change the weather. This time I'm calling you my brother. I'm calling you my brother. Sunlight on my lips now like the gentle.
This song is 6.5 minutes long.
Yeah,
We
that's
could
all.
keep
That's
going.
all we need.
I
That's
think
all
that's what we
baby.
need. Yeah.
That's all we need.
So because of your analysis of the first song, I was listening more for the mix than I was previous to your your expose of that, and I'm hearing singers over here that are not over here, and I'm hearing more of that separation of left and right. I'm wondering your thoughts on Calling You My Brother.
That's possibly one of the most 70s songs I've ever heard.
I had that thought
honestly.
on every song on this album. Is each one is more 70s than the next.
Yes, it was. And yeah, for a band, for this, of course, we're only 2 songs in, so I don't really have a good feel for the band. My time has come gave me a real good feel for what it could be. This gave me a real good feel for where they are in the history of music. And those 2 songs could very easily go 1 and 6 on that record.
Yeah,
because that's the opening to side 1 and second song on side 2. So I need more now. I need as much as we can fit in.
Let's rapid fire through the first minute or so of several more of these songs.
Yes.
Where you want to go next?
So if they took all my songs away.
If They Took All My Songs Away by Freedom Quest.
If they took all my songs away, what would I do then? If I found that they clipped my wings, could I fly with you then? If they made trees grow diamonds, would they sell them like hotcakes? 'Cause they change gold to plastic, and they make guns from snowflakes. Have they found a way to blast away the light day, paint the night in sunshine? The universe of evil key punch digits on a dotted line, and they live behind the page, those who play the power game, when they drive the world insane, and they find it's all in vain.
Is that enough?
Okay. Yeah, that was enough. That was plenty. Because I'm trying to get the I want to get a check on the mix, get a check on the tones, and stuff, and just try. I'm just trying to hone it in. Once again, the song fits into their oeuvre or their genre or whatever you want to say absolutely perfectly. Southern California, right?
Probably.
I thought I saw something on the book thing or
De
something, but
De
anyway.
Deborah Masterson is L.A. born, lives in Chicago currently. Here's the hold on, let me get back to the book cover.
Well, no, the band about the band where the band was not her, but it
Oh,
seems like the band was based in California.
okay. Yeah, I
No,
haven't read you the
on the
bio.
book thing.
Oh, so the book is fictional, and I don't know how much it mirrors the band. This is the bio I have on Spotify is all seems to be all about Craig Ingram and less about this whole band. But as you can see here, yes, his bands, if he is the guy or one of the guys in the band, San Diego, Catalina Island, Bakersfield, Sacramento, Reno, San Francisco, Anchorage, Alaska, and places in between.
But his name was Skeeter.
Yes, he
You
has
got to give the guy credit. I mean, you got to. I mean, his name is Skeeter.
at various periods of his life. Craig was known as Skeeter, Grazer Ingy, Kragers, Shlomo von Westen, the Big Salmon because he was always swimming upstream, the Walking Jukebox, Binky Daniels, the Dude, and Father Michael. He was 100% musician. Music oozed out of his body and soul. He understood it like the air we breathe on the light that we see. It just was.
Not too much hyperbole there, no.
Right.
Uh, but I mean, anybody named Skeeter, you got to give him credit, man.
Yeah.
That's it. Um, so yeah, so topically, bang on 70s SoCal. Uh, Once again, sonically, tone wise, perfect. Everything. I'm the mix still bothers me just a little bit. Although in this one, the drums seemed a little too tight for
They were
70s.
tight. There's a good little
Uh,
drum fill coming back in from the stop.
yeah, but not the playing as much as the tone, the sonic
It
quality
it
of
still
the
had that muffled quality though that I associate
but
with
the
the
snare
70s.
was not. The
That's
snare was
true. The
pick
snare was more
snare
pronounced.
is picking up and which is like, I don't know. But once again, if what I'm with my ace number one hope is that they took the multi-track from 1970 whatever, and he took it into a studio in 2010 and mixed it. They're gonna fix that. That ain't nothing because they're number one in 2010. They had to transfer it to digital at some point.
Yeah.
It had to become. There was no more. 2010. There was no more mixing analog. So that's where you can fix everything. Um, and luckily they didn't fix that much, but once again, the only thing, there was a little bit of separation here and there, but still too much for me, too much going in the rainbow, which is the modern mixing era. So I'm hoping that I'm truly right that they rescued the 2-inch tapes, and did
I feel like you
contemporary
can
mixes.
still hear some of the artifacts from recording
And
the tapes
exactly, you
onto
can,
digital.
yeah.
Like really,
Hmm.
I'm hearing some wow and flutter in there, some wobble, just a little
Hmm.
bit, right? Like I feel like that is in there, and they might have just done this in time waiting any longer, and they might not have been able to get a clean recording off of these tapes, as clean as this is.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is that fewer and fewer places have these machines.
Yeah.
But then again, more collectors do, and more random people in garages do have these, huge Studer Studer machines that can take my 10 reels of 2-inch that I have somewhere in a vault somewhere. I have no idea. Um, and make new records out of. But how, but then what, It's-
All right, Gary, this episode's
Let's go.
band you've never heard of is called Freedom Quest, and they are a hidden band from the 70s, and their album, Freedom Quest, is on Spotify and streaming elsewhere, and it is a companion piece to the book Freedom Quest, A Love Story, written by Debora Masterson, who will be joining us momentarily for a live interview on the second half of this show. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Adam, JR?
Yeah, let's go with JR.
JR, okay, great. And
And-
Gary?
My co-host Gary had to step away for just a second.
Okay.
We just finished recording part 1 of our show, and you are
Okay.
part 2 of our show.
Okay.
So he needed
All
a
right.
minute, but I didn't want to keep you waiting any longer than we had to. So
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure I'm in the right place.
You
and,
are
all
indeed.
that stuff.
Yep,
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you so much.
I've been looking forward to this now for a week or so. I've been talking to Philip in the background. I wish I could tell you I have had time to finish Freedom's Quest, A Love Story, but I have had time to start it. I'm 50 pages in.
Okay.
Yep, and I've sort of summarized the rest to make sure I'm kind of familiar with what's about to happen, so we can at
Okay.
least talk somewhat knowledgeably.
Yeah.
There's Gary.
Hello.
Hi, Gary. Nice to see you, meet you online.
Nice to meet you. Sorry, I had to.
So I want to start by finding out, Deborah, how much did Philip explain to you about our show?
Well, I watched some of your shorts, and I also
the
watched
shorts.
one of your long ones. And based on the title of, I watched your mission statement trailer and on all of that. So yeah, it's a great topic. And I actually have another musician for you that I can't think of his name right now.
Sweet.
But honestly, you're gonna love this other musician that
We
is
love
another-
recommendations.
Yeah.
From,
Yeah.
That's honestly my favorite way to find new bands to feature on this show. I mean, I can go digging around Spotify for hours, but
Yeah.
a solid recommendation from somebody that's already been on the show and understands what we're trying to do is worth its weight in gold. So
Yeah.
I'll be looking forward to that. Don't tell me now, because
I know, and I can't. The name has escaped me, so I have to go back. It goes in and out of my brain. I don't think about him that often, but I think you'll really like it.
Fantastic. Plenty
In
of
fact,
time.
he reminded me very, very much of my partner Craig Ingraham when I first was introduced to the music. I'm like, oh my god, this is like a doppelganger.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's really
Oh,
interesting.
cool.
Yeah. So
So,
anyway.
so you are here on our show because you have recently written your first book, Freedom
Right.
Quest: A Love Story, soon to be released April 21st. Do I have all that right?
You did it right.
Excellent. And
Excellent job.
And
And
is it going to be? Is it going to be just Kindle and just ebooks, or is you got hard copies coming too?
I've got a paperback, not a hard copy, but
Well, that's
paperback.
hard copy
Well,
for
yeah,
these
in
days.
not
print.
Yes.
But not the hard cover. Yeah, these
Oh
are
no, who
paperback.
needs
Yeah,
hardcovers
only
anymore?
the New York Times bestseller and people like
right.
that, do those hard copy. They call it hardcover. But yeah,
Yeah.
paperback, ebook, and soon audiobook. Not
Oh,
yet,
I was
but
going to
Ooh.
ask if there's going to be an audiobook because that has become my preferred way to devour literature these days. Because I spend so much time driving, and I love an audiobook. And so, who read the audiobook? Did you do it yourself, or did you have
I'm
someone
working
else
on
do
it
it?
right now.
Oh, fantastic!
Sweet.
There's the booth.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was talking to Philip, who has just been doing this fantastic job. We've become very close. I feel like he's a brother to me, and I was telling him it's like I want to do the audiobook. I don't want to spend a lot of money. The publisher wanted more money, and finally he goes, "Well, you should do it, my dear." And I'm like, "Really?" I've always loved to read out loud. In fact, when I was in college, early on, I used to read to blind people
Mm,
before the internet,
okay.
right? So I used to go over to their houses and read novels to them. So I
Wow.
love to read out loud. So it's a big project, but I'm looking forward to it. And I've
But
started it.
you also have a really really good voice for it too.
Oh,
Hmm.
thank
You
you
know,
so
with
much. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm
um,
getting over a cold right now. So, uh, but yeah, so I'm about 20% through. I
Okay.
started slow because I wasn't sure. I didn't want to like rush into it and make mistakes and then have to go back.
Right.
So I did some samples and I sent them off to some people that I know, audio engineers and musicians, and to get feedback.
Hmm.
mhm.
And so I got a lot of feedback, and I got a fair amount of encouragement. And so I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. So now, if I can
Oh,
just get over
sweet.
this cold, so my voice, I lose my voice quite easily right now. But
Ah.
yeah, probably next week I can get back into it.
So, are you doing
Awesome.
the recording and the editing of all of that yourself?
Well, good question. The editing, I think I will have to hire someone to do the final editing.
Yeah.
But one of the notes I got from a guy who does a lot of he's done a fair amount of books, but he's also done voiceover, a lot of voiceover work. And he said, uh, try to make all these little fine edits, like if you miss a word, you screw up on a word or whatever, do those little edits now because it's going to cost you a fortune if you
To
wait.
go back, yeah.
So the little stuff like that, I
And
don't know how to
plus
edit that well.
it's really difficult to go back
Yeah.
way after the fact because you won't
Yeah.
find that for months.
Yes. Right. Exactly. It's like a needle in a haystack, right?
Yep.
Uh-huh. And so when it happens and I'm right there, it's a lot easier to just go back, cut, and move forward. So
Right.
I'm
Hmm.
learning how to edit.
That-
I should be better. I was married to an editor for 26 years, so I
ah.
should be better at it. But anyway, yeah.
So
So
we could go so many different directions. I have
I
so many
know.
questions about all of this that I have found.
Actually, I think I have more questions than you for once.
right.
Well,
I,
I'm here to answer as many as I can.
I read to
Okay.
Gary Phillips' email when he first pitched the idea to me, and so he's familiar with that. And we also went and found the band Freedom Quest on Spotify, and we've been listening to some songs.
Okay.
And I
Sounds
think
good.
before we get into the music, I would love to know, like, where does the idea come from to pair up this band, which we have questions about, with the story? Did the band inspire the story? Did the story, how did you meld those two together? Where did this idea come from? What was the kernel that popped into your brain to make all of this happen?
Well, the leader of the band was a guy by the name of Craig Ingram,
Okay.
who has been my love of my life. And so I met him when I was 15. So if you're
Just
reading the
like
book,
Michael and
there you go.
Grace. Yeah,
Yeah.
got
So
it.
basically, it's Michael and Grace, and I decided to change all the names because I can't remember everything, and I don't want people coming at me going, "That's not the way it happened." And we all have our own perceptions about what happened, and a lot of the stories were told to me secondhand, also, when I wasn't in the picture, or So we first met when I was 15 and he was 18. And I was just blown away by his talent. And I was a singer and a dancer. My family was all, very much musically oriented. My dad played piano. My mom sang. We all sang. So that's how it started. And I was just blown away by his talent. And we went together for 7 years, and then it all blew up and we lost track of each other. So basically, in the craziness of sex, drugs, rock and roll, and the Vietnam War, I don't want to give too much away,
Yeah.
but we lost track of each other. And I went on to get married and start raising two beautiful boys, two beautiful children. And then out of the blue, it was crazy because the way I met him the first time, he was the guitar teacher of my brother. And out of the blue, I was looking for a guitar teacher for my youngest son,
Oh, wow.
And there he was.
and there he was. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, I had always thought about him. I had kept the engagement ring that he had given me, but we never got married. He had always thought about me. He had never gotten married, never had any children, always talked about me. When I came back into the picture, all of his friends said, "Oh my God, we know all about you." I was like, "Oh my God, thank God you're back." I'm like, I couldn't believe it. So, we're definitely soulmates. And yeah, so, I felt compelled to write this story. He passed away in 2020.
Okay, so it's
And
been a few years.
yeah, and he had wanted to write his story. And actually, one of his friends, who became a very successful writer, started writing his story because he had a really, really crazy, adventurous life as a musician, 100% musician. That's all he did. And, he's written, there's probably 200 songs recorded.
Mm.
Yeah, so a huge library, 4 albums streaming, but there's a lot more behind that. And, you know, several people had wanted to write his story. He wanted his story to be written, and I ended up writing it. Before he died, he dictated some stories to me.
Oh,
So I had some of his early life, elementary school, and he went into the seminary when he was 14. So I had, yeah. So he wanted to be a priest, a Catholic priest.
yeah.
So I had a lot of material. I also had a lot of journals and a lot of he kept, songwriting. Kept I have
Reams.
boxes. Yeah. In fact, I'd like to do another book called Bits and Pieces, which are basically just pulled from his story ideas, his song ideas. So we'll see if I have enough time in my life.
So I found the album Freedom Quest on Spotify. It says the artist is Craig Ingram. What I probably haven't gotten far enough into the book yet because it seems clear that the music is that the album where the music goes with the book, and have I just not gotten to a part yet where that's an obvious connection?
Yes.
Got
Yes.
it. Cool.
So
That's the part I'm super excited to get to that. Like that
okay.
that is
Yeah.
such a cool idea to have a companion
Thank you.
album, and it's not some hokey thing you created for the book. It's like it's so genuine and real.
Yeah. I did not think about this. You know what I mean? It was organic the way it happened. I mean, I had these stories. Craig wanted his story written. It was too good to pass up. The story was too good, and I learned how to write in writing this book. Now, everybody's like, "Oh, did you ever think you'd write a book?" No, but looking back on my career, it's not surprising. I have been an academic. I have a master's in French literature. So I'm a book reader, book lover. So it's
It's
not
not a
surprising.
stretch to think that you might
It's
be
not a
able to
stretch.
write a book. Yes.
Exactly. It's not a stretch, but I really never thought about it. I kind of put authors up on a pedestal
Oh,
because I loved
me
reading
too.
so much. I never thought I could do it, so that was kind of out of the question for me in a way. I just, and then I was busy,
Yeah.
other things and everything. I don't know how anybody writes a full length novel, if they're working full time, taking care of a family and all of
As
that. They
someone
do
who's
it.
just done
It's
two
beautiful.
books, it's not easy.
It,
It
yeah,
eats your life.
it is.
It's like,
It is. It's a tedious, long process. But in doing it, I learned I really like the process. I like it. So, I'm writing a lot now, and I have a
Oh,
second
oh,
book.
sweet,
I have a
that's it.
second
awesome.
book.
That
Yeah.
one will probably get hardcover. So yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you from your mouth to God's ears.
There you go. So this recording, this one album of Craig Ingram's, and it was the band itself called Freedom Quest. What was the
Correct.
history of them? Like, did they gig out? Did they have a big thing? Like, I've never heard of them. They, nothing. I can't find anything on the internet about them. What is the
Yeah.
story of his band Freedom Quest?
Yeah. It was arguably the pinnacle of his career. But it was very short lived because he got busted for pot. He got busted for cannabis.
Mm.
And the band broke up. He ended up going to jail for 3 days and then honor camp. And how ironic, because now, you know,
Honor camp.
Yes.
yes, he went to honor camp out in East San Diego. But he was gone for 6 weeks, and the band kind of, disbanded and they got busy. Two of the guys were from LA. They were driving all the way down to San Diego, North Park, to rehearse and record. And, the music I think is amazing. It's still absolutely amazing. Very much psychedelic rock, giant jam
Very
sessions in the
70s. Yes.
middle. Each song is like what 4 to 6 minutes long and 7 minutes long, and
Yeah.
yeah, and great players. So the two guys from LA, David Benoit is very well known. He's had a great
Yes.
career, jazz pianist.
Yeah. It's amazing. I didn't recognize the piano. That was the guy that I was talking about. Oh, the piano guy is definitely
There you
on it.
go,
Yes.
David Benoit. That was one of his first jobs. He was 17.
Holy crap.
And I remember he and the bass player, Brian Magness, who is a killer monster also. Brian Magness, they were driving down from LA, no pay, no nothing, because they really felt strongly about the music and about what was happening. And so there is a video on YouTube of the band at an outdoor concert, a great video. And but it was short lived. It was so short lived. They got those 7 songs. Craig started shopping it around for a record contract, and then boom. And would you believe one of the roadies set him up?
Oh no.
Oh, he finked on him.
The roadie was working for the feds. He was on probation himself, and Craig ran out of money, and he wanted to keep enough money going so that he could finish the album and get the record deal. And so he thought he could turn around a couple of kilos. And,
Yeah.
the minute he had them in his hand, the police showed up and arrested him.
What a bummer.
I
Yeah.
hope that roadie never got another job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Luckily, I don't know his name, or I'd be looking for him.
yeah. No, we
But
all would. I mean, that's.
I
I
know.
mean,
It happened a lot, though, back in the
you
day.
profess a lot to your roadies
I
that
know.
are not supposed to leave
That's
the
right.
band bus.
So, based on the timeline you've laid out, you weren't in Freedom Quest, or were you?
Yes, I was.
You
Yeah.
were in Freedom
Okay.
Quest. Are you one of the people in the
In the
picture?
picture,
Yes. Yes. I am standing on the left side of the tree, the right side in the picture,
Uh-huh.
and I have an orange blouse on
Orange blouse. Got it. I
Orange
figured.
with
blouse.
blonde
Okay,
hair.
The
sweet.
orange blouse
I'll put a
lady.
little red
Okay.
circle around that later.
Yeah,
No, because
yeah.
I mean, that was the first thing he shows me. He goes, "All right, so does this look real?" I'm like, "Yeah, that looks like my graduating class."
Yeah.
So it's so I'm like, because the entire time we're going, is this real or is this Memorex?
Okay, yeah. Is this just
because
AI or
because
something, right?
is it,
Oh,
was
interesting.
this created for your book or was your book created
Got
for
it.
this?
Yeah.
Because Philip didn't give us that information on purpose, I'm sure, so that we
Probably.
would dig. And
Yeah.
so, when JR introduced it to me, it's like, and I was just out having a little, getting some ice for my drink, and I'm like, I've got like a murder mystery and a
And a
and
band.
a podcast, you know. So I'm trying to discern what all is going on here, using what I know about '70s music and how it was, how it was mixed and how, what the sonic quality was of it,
Okay,
because
yeah.
I was really really into music at a younger age. I was a teenager then, and I listened to this radio station called WQT,
Where was that?
and Kingsport, Tennessee. I lived in
Okay.
Bristol, but the QUT was in Kingsport because Bristol didn't have anything cool, and and like everything about it was, they would search for unheard bands,
Okay, yeah.
that had vinyl. If you
Yeah,
had vinyl, you could get on,
the
QT.
theme I think is one of the strongest themes in the book is the fact that this was an almost famous band. This was a band that really should have made it, and 90% of the bands are like that.
Yeah.
And anybody on the outside of the business doesn't know that. They don't understand. It's like,
Mm-mm.
oh, you're a musician? Yeah. Would I know you? And if they don't recognize a song that you wrote or whatever, they think, oh,
Oh,
you're
you're
nobody.
nothing. Yeah.
Right? But 90% of the musicians, 90% of the writers, 90% of the actors are not known. I don't know if that percentage is exact, but
Yeah,
I do
probably
know.
less of the actors because there's just more opportunity for actors to get.
Right. But I do know that at Screen Actors Guild, 90% of the actors are not making a living as
Oh, well,
actors.
no, I didn't say anything about
Yeah.
making a living. There's actually
Right.
more people making a living with music than actors making a living with acting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe. I
because
don't
because
know.
there's so many other things you can do with music.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can play. You can't go to the local Pizza Hut and go, "Hey, can I come in and act for an hour?"
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Whereas you can go to the Pizza Hut and go, "Hey, can I put up a tip jar and just come in and play?" And
Yeah. Or busk,
yeah, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, sure," you know. But you
Yeah.
can't do that as an actor. You can't go, can I come in and do, King Lear
Shakespeare. Yeah.
soliloquy?
Really.
So how did the
So anyway, so
recordings? Oh, go ahead.
yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, so that's how the book got its name. I went through 6 or 7 different titles, and one of my readers, towards the end, way, like I was getting close to getting it published, and she's like, "Well, you know what your title is, don't you?" And I'm like, so I was searching for a song title or a lyric from one of the songs or something like that, and she's like, "Freedom Quest." I'm like, "Oh my God, I didn't even think of the band."
Yeah.
And so it's I think it's a great title, and so yeah, so so the band disbanded, and I left Craig, the band left Craig, everybody left Craig,
Mm,
and Michael in the book, the character
So
yeah.
Michael,
so how old were you at that point?
23, and to the typical woman, I would ask him, where are we going? What are we doing? What's the plan? Right? And he would
Make more
go, he would look at
music.
me like, uh, were playing music and having a
Yeah.
good time.
Right.
And that's as far as it got. And so, and then I got nervous because there was a lot of drugs around, we had a bowl of chocolate mescaline on our living room table. And,
You
there were
were
a
in
lot of
Southern
people,
California in the 70s.
right.
So,
There were a lot of people going in and out. There was a lot of groupies, a lot of people going in and out of our house. We were living in a little house in Ocean Beach in San Diego. And I, it was kind of scary for me, and I wanted to kind of have a little house and, put up
picket fence
flowers and,
and yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
I mean, but I could not deny how great the music was,
Hmm.
so I was fully supportive. So anyway, everything disbanded, and I don't want to give too much away, but Craig, spirals down into a really scary place. And I go off and start raising kids, listening
Right.
to Raffi and watching Sesame Street. So the book contrasts those two lives until we get back together again. And so I think I'm proud of it. I'm very proud of it. And
What
I
did
hope,
you learn about yourself you didn't realize before? Once you started writing about yourself, kind of in a third person, right? Because it's not your name, it's Grace. And does that dynamic teach you something about yourself or reveal things about yourself that you hadn't thought of previously?
I think a better question would be, what did I learn about Michael or Craig? For
That
me,
was going to be my next question,
okay,
actually. But
yeah.
yes.
As far as me, I'm concerned, I didn't feel that way really. I mean, I've worked through a lot of issues in my life, as we all have, and it took me 70 years, to kind of understand myself and everything. But I didn't really feel like there were big changes, transformations in telling this story. I'm an ancillary character too. I'm not, the main character. But I really I struggled trying to understand Michael and why he didn't become a success and how he spiraled downward into, I'm just going to put it out there. He ended up in a religious cult
Oh my.
in Hawaii.
Mm.
And so that's, the second half of the book. Well, not the whole second half, but, that's the kind of a pivotal point where he ends up, and he's physically and mentally abused in this cult.
Oh
Physically
wow.
abused. He almost lost his hand. So I really struggled with, how in the world does this truly intelligent, incredible musician, who, we called him Mr. Jukebox because he could remember all the words to all the songs and even the arrangements. And, he had kind of like he had a memory that if he heard something, he could remember it. So I really worked hard at trying to justify what happened. I mean, it did happen. So I had to make it believable to the readers, because so many readers, like early readers would go, I don't believe this. There's no way that he would do this. And I'm like, yeah, but he did. So how do I make it believable to the readers that, yes, in fact, this happened? So luckily, the cult leader had him keep a journal.
Oh,
So I had a journal from that period, and he was going crazy. I mean, literally, the writing, you would think they were on psychedelics or something, but
Well,
according to,
that's what a cult is
but it,
basically
but it, there,
no
there
no
were no
drugs, but
drugs.
doesn't
Yeah,
matter. I mean,
yeah,
but it's
no drugs.
but
But because
I understand where he went there. I do.
yeah, because I actually asked some of the other cult members too. I interviewed some of the other cult members to try to understand this, and they were like, no, there were no drugs, which I couldn't believe it, because the writing was just totally psychedelic. I mean, just, his brain was mush.
So when you reconnected with Craig later in life, was he able to talk about this stuff and explain it and give it some first person perspective?
Yes, yes. Um, what he told me, and this was part of it too, is the cult leader. He was in a very vulnerable place, right? He was totally depressed. He had worked so hard trying to get his music out there, and he had just given up. Sold everything, moved to Hawaii, and the cult leader learned everything about him, and then
Right.
he used everything
He
against
used
him.
it
Oh
against him.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was what Craig shared with me, Michael, in the book. Uh, and then I went deeper, realizing that, okay, bands you've never heard of.
Uh-huh.
I think in Craig's or Michael's case, he really ended up he was afraid of success.
Mm.
I think that, I mean, every time he came close to it, something went wrong.
But also, he was afraid of failure and success at the same time,
Yeah, yeah.
which
And
is
I think,
a
yeah,
deadly duo.
so many, his mom really was pushing him. She thought, oh, he really should be a big star. All of his fellow musicians really were kind of expecting him because he was this singer-songwriter, and not every musician can write songs and arrange them, and he could do all the arrangements and everything. So,
Wow.
and David Benoit did some of the arrangements too for the Freedom Quest songs, because there's a violin and flute and
Hmm.
all of that. So, most of the musicians that played with him really kind of were expecting him to be a big star and
The
they were going to
thing,
ride
yeah.
on his coattails, right?
Yeah.
So he had all of this pressure, I think, from everybody around him, but he really didn't want it. He loved his anonymity. He wanted to sit on the couch, watch TV, smoke pot, and play music. That's it, right? Play music and,
Goodbye. You wanted to
enjoy
get
his
by.
life.
Yeah.
And I remember when, so I actually ran a talent agency. I had my own talent agency for a while while I was married. And my husband was an editor, so we were representing post-production. And after my divorce and I got back with Craig again, I started reaching out and trying to get his music out there. And they did an album. He and a buddy of his did an album called World on Fire Songs for Peace that was a protest album against the Iraqi war, the George W. Bush Iraqi, number
Yep.
two.
Yep.
And so I started reaching out to all the college radio stations and pitching and pitching. And I told Craig, I said, man, help me out here, make a couple of phone calls, talk to people. And he was really good talking to people. Everybody loved him. He had the gift of gab, but he wouldn't do it. He
Uh,
wouldn't do it.
Mm.
So,
I find this a lot when we interview bands for our show. Not with every band, but with a lot of bands we've encountered, it's almost like I want them to be famous musicians more than they want to be
Then they
famous
want, yeah.
musicians. They don't have the drive that I kind of expect them to have because they have the talent they have. Well, of course, why wouldn't you want to be a megastar? And many of them are quite content to be in their own corner, doing their own thing, and don't want the pressure. And it
Right.
might be too much for them
yeah,
to take on.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I've had several friends that are exactly like what you describe, Craig, to be, is that literally they were with very successful bands. They were a major part of an influence to that band. And right as they were getting ready to break, they would
Mhm.
quit because they're like,
Good.
and
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Deborah?
Well, then this idea that what is success? So that's another theme in the book because
right,
you know ultimately, and again, I don't want to give too much away, but ultimately, I think he and I realized that the musical success wasn't necessarily being successful
Success. Yeah.
as a person. The idea of gratitude and love wins out, over musical success
Yeah.
or uh, so I hope that theme also comes through in the book. So I think there's some interesting themes there, and this podcast is just perfect for it.
So how much do you know about the music on the what we listen to on the Freedom Quest album?
How much do I know about it?
Yeah, you were on that album, correct?
Right,
Okay,
right.
so
I think Gary is a lot of bit interested in the production side.
on the music, because the instrumentation, some of the tonal qualities, and some of everything, everything about the music fits that era perfectly, except for the mix and the mastering. The mastering is easily done, easily passed aside, because that anytime you put it on Spotify, you're going to remaster it. You're going to do
Exactly.
this. But the mix was a more modern mix than what would have happened in the 70s. Do you know if he retained the master tracking tapes, the 2-inch
Yeah.
tapes,
Yes.
and mixed it right before he released it this way, or
No, they were mixed uh, early on. That's a good question. Where did the digitized music originate?
Mhm.
Off of, yeah.
And I realize that
'Cause I
you're
do know,
probably
see,
not the one to ask
right.
that, but
Well, I have the 2-inch tapes, and actually, I don't know if you're familiar with Sound City Studios
oh
in
yeah,
Los
Certainly.
hmm
Angeles, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
The documentary that was done
Yep.
hmm yeah.
by
Dave
That's
Grohl.
what
Dave
Dave
Grohl.
Grohl. Dave
Dave Grohl.
Grohl.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, he's one
And
of my
okay,
favorite humans on the planet. So yes,
oh,
yes.
great! I want to meet him.
You might need
So
to come to Virginia, because that's where he's living now. So
okay,
so
Studio City has helped
mhm.
me. I'm sorry, Sound City has helped me digitize from the 2-inch masters of these songs.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
And they
Help
did it at
you do it.
they helped me. Yeah. This
Oh,
is
sweet.
recently, since Craig has passed away, I inherited all of
The
these,
two in.
the two inch and the quarter inch and the half inch. I've got 1 inch, 2-inch, quarter inch. I've got stuff
Right.
all the way back from 65.
Wow.
And and I'm dying to, some of it I haven't heard yet. Sound City doesn't have a quarter inch way to digitize. So they could do the 2-inch and the one
hmm
inch, but they can't do the quarter inch.
I
So,
think I may have a friend in Nashville that could do the 1/4 inch. So
okay.
if after this, we'll chat.
Yeah. So there's like one box that says for Debbie on it, and I have no idea
Uh-huh.
what's on it.
Oh my.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's another one with my brother and me, my brother and his band or something. I mean, there's all this stuff back from 1965 when we first met. I'd love to hear it. But anyway, they helped me digitize the master recordings that were from recording studios, from
hmm
Sound. He did record at Sound City in 1969. I recorded at Sound City with him in
Cool.
1969. Yeah, and so we're still very close friends with Sandy Skeeter, and so they also, the band recorded at a studio in San Diego. The Freedom Quest band recorded at a studio in San Diego. I can't remember the name of it offhand, but I could probably find that. Let's see. Well, David Benoit's, around. I'm in touch with him.
So I guess the question really is like, were they able to generate stems off of the digitized version of the 2-inch, and then did someone
Yeah.
take that and remix it in a more modern way, or is it really just
I think
these
it's
old
remixed.
recordings are now digital but really unchanged?
I think they're unchanged. I don't ever. He
Hmm.
never went back in and remixed while
He
I
did not
was with
remix.
him.
Okay, so that was my main question,
And
was
I, yeah, and I think
because the mix that we listen to was way more modern than
Yeah.
And
what was the norm in the mid
would
70s.
Craig have been integral in the mixing process
Oh, yeah.
himself?
Yeah.
So
He
this
was a
this
recording
could very well be a an example of him being ahead of his time, right?
Well ahead of his
perhaps.
time. Yeah.
Well, perhaps. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, I can't really talk the technical aspects of it.
Hmm.
But yeah, he had he had reel to reel from the age of 14. So,
Hmm.
and he was a recording engineer. He would get jobs at studios and be a recording engineer during the day. And then the manager of the two different studios, same manager, but two different studios, one in San Francisco, and then they moved back to LA. Both studios, he let Craig record at night, so for free.
Oh,
So a
nice.
lot of music came out of that era, the 80s, where he was recording in a recording studio in Northridge, California. And then he would go home at night, he'd shower, hit some cocaine, and then go
Well, it
back to the
was the
studio and
80s.
record on that. The 80s, yeah. Yeah. And there's some great music from that time, really incredible songs from that time. So there's a lot of music. And then Sound City digitized, and they digitized it at the highest resolution and each track separately. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
could
The
actually
stems.
go
Yeah.
back the stems. Okay,
So
I could
now you
actually
can
go
go
back.
and now you can go and have that mixed
Yeah,
with a modern mix
right.
and modern mastering and make his whatever you have on that 2-inch tape or what was on that 2-inch, you can make that into a 2026 masterpiece because the songs hold up big time. And as we're going through, we listen just to the full first song, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting a good feel from this. But then we had limited time, so I've only heard snippets of the
Okay.
of two, three other songs.
Yeah,
Hmm.
three
There's
other
seven.
songs.
But
Yep.
yeah,
Seven
there's
altogether.
7 songs, but I've only heard like two or three other ones because
Got
we
it.
were
Yeah.
time limited.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about anything until I flip the switch, until I flip the switch and go,
Yeah.
"Hey, man, let's go."
Yeah.
Um, and that's our little bit.
Yeah, it would be wonderful to go back and remix and what I'm hoping with the book is that, it'll make a splash and people will really love it and maybe I'll have the opportunity to
Sequel.
get Craig's out there. Yeah, Craig's music out there,
Maybe once you get that For Debbie tape digitized, maybe
Oh,
Oh
that'll
that'll be
yeah,
be
the
the
For
best.
Debbie
the
tape.
inspiration for the
That's gonna
third or
be the
fourth
good
book.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, so I'm working hard on trying to get the book out there so that hopefully it will be appreciated and loved and that will give me the further opportunity to continue letting people explore this huge library of music that's out there. There's a lot more that I'd like to share.
Yeah,
But
that's
it costs money, and I'm not making any money right now, so we'll
is
see.
part of the hope as well to get the music that's on Spotify and other streaming platforms to get word out that this exists and to get to have that become an income stream that could help support releasing more of the older stuff, that kind of thing.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
do you have a website dedicated to you and or the book to
Yes. There's a
collect said money?
Yes. The website for the book is my name, DeboraMasterson.com, and Deborah's without an H, Debora Masterson.com. And I've got lots of events coming up. So April 25th, I'm going to be in San Diego. How fitting that the
No
first
kidding.
release party is in San Diego. And it's only about a quarter of a mile away from where we rehearsed in North Park on Ohio Street. So some of the band members are going to be there, and it's going to be like a mini reunion.
Oh,
And we're doing
wow.
it at a really cool place. It's called Folk Arts Rare Records. And that's going to be on April 25th from 3 to 6 p.m. And this Folk Arts Rare Records has been there since like 1965.
Oh, wow.
So, and the publisher of the San Diego Troubadour is doing an article, and that's coming out April 1st, so a couple of days. We just finished getting the article finished with photos and all that stuff. And, so that'll be the first one. And then I come up to LA, and I have May 2nd in LA from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Last Bookstore in Studio City, which is in the Valley, which is perfect because that's where we grew up. So the
Yeah.
band, Craig's house, Michael's house, Grace's house, uh, was in the San Fernando Valley. So the Last Bookstore in Studio City is a perfect location. So I'll have friends and family there. So that'll be great. And then I fly back to Chicago, and we have the next day we have one here in Chicago in my local neighborhoods because I live in Chicago now. So that's going to be a party. And and in Studio City, we may have live music, and the one in Chicago for sure. I've got a guy, singer-songwriter, who's learning some of the Freedom Quest songs.
Oh, cool.
So there's going to be some live music.
And will
And
you be playing on those?
I am planning on playing here in Chicago on the last song that we do. So I'm going to play bass and sing.
Excellent.
Yeah, because I play bass
Excellent.
now. I did not play bass in
I
the Freedom
just
Quest band.
I just read this. I was going to ask you, were you on piano in Freedom Quest or
No,
something?
I did not play an instrument.
That's
I
just
only
David
sang.
Benoit.
So I was primarily a dancer, singer at that
Ah,
point.
okay.
Yeah, so I did a lot of musical theater, and but I was, I was primarily a dancer who sang, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't pick up the electric bass until much later, when I got back together with Craig again, and he had a bass sitting there, and I picked it up one day, and I went, "Oh my God, I finally have found my instrument." I played guitar in high school, but I was in like a folk band and stuff, but I never really knew what I was playing, and it took the bass and Craig teaching me, so I finally started learning music theory at a late stage in my life. But yeah, so I've been playing for a while now, and I'm really enjoying it. So
Sweet.
I'm in a band. I'm in a rock and roll band right now.
Awesome.
Yeah,
What's the name
yeah.
of the band?
What's the
The
name of the band?
Dave Newman Band.
The Dave Newman Band.
Dave Newman, yeah, Newman, Dave Newman Band, and so we do local stuff around here, and
Original music?
Just
yeah, a lot of covers, and he writes, so it's primarily his songwriting too. So,
Oh, that's
but
fantastic.
it's crazy because at my late age, this is the first time I played bass in a band.
Yeah. I think it's
And
great.
I
that
just
is
keep pinching myself,
fantastic.
going, "Wow, I'm the bass player in a band, and I'm singing too." So I'm
No, that
singing.
is
Yeah,
fantastic.
I've been doing "I'm an Old Cowhand," which is an old Johnny Mercer song, which I used to sing with Craig. The last band we had together was three voices, Craig on guitar, me, Bill Richardson, and Craig and I singing three-part harmony, all of Craig's music again. And so I used to sing this song, "I'm an Old Cowhand," but I didn't play at that point. So now I'm singing and playing walking bass. Thank you very much.
Oh, sweet.
That
Yeah,
sounds very difficult.
I'm having a blast, So yeah, it's great.
So
So
so DeborahMasterson.com for book
yeah,
signing dates and how we can find your book. Uh,
right.
I'm
And the
personally
events are all listed on there, the events,
good.
and yeah. So, and then I think the podcast will be posted up there, and, we'll be broadcasting as much as we can to try to get the word out. So, yeah, we hope to no longer be the band that you've never heard of.
That's our goal for every
That's
band
the
on this
whole.
show.
That's the
All
whole
right. Well,
idea.
I'm
Yes.
right there. You know what? Let me say one thing too, because Craig, Michael in the story, you know, he was 100% artist, 100% musician, and filmmaker, by the way. We did a film together, a documentary. But he couldn't straddle, but I'm kind of in the middle, I'm an artist, but I'm also a good business person. So I'm lucky that way,
Mm-hmm.
that I can kind of I can promote and
Yeah,
I can play the game. You
you're
know.
more than a triple threat. You're like the quadruple threat. Like you have so many
Right.
things
Oh,
you could
jeez.
do.
Oh,
I could ask you so many more questions about so many aspects of your life. I wish we had time for that. I hope that
Yes.
we have a reunion at some point once Freedom Quest has become well known, a national name, whatever it
Yeah,
is.
I think
I
we
would
should.
love to
I think
circle
we
back
should
with
go
you.
ahead and set up one for 6 months from now.
ooh, 6 months. Okay, that gives me a goal.
I
Yeah, I
think we
mean,
should set
we're
up for
gonna
6 months
know
from
pretty
now
quickly if this book,
because this
becomes
is.
a
I
hit or
mean,
not.
this is it sound
Right.
the whole thing about it sounds
Oh,
pretty
thank
much perfect, and
you.
it's going to hit. It's going to hit a zeitgeist for three generations of people trying to see what was going on
Yeah.
artistically then, because that was, like you said, that was the Vietnam War. We had
Yeah.
recession, we had all this stuff that's going on right now. uh
It really
people need
relates.
people need to get some positivity in that, and I think it's going to resonate.
Thank you so
And the
much.
is so 70s with him, but like I said, with a modern mix.
Yeah,
When he
even
was
the
he was just
20 year
obviously
olds are
amazingly ahead of his time.
even the 20 something year olds, they're interested in this too because, they're activists now. A lot of the
Oh yeah,
kids, are
absolutely. Even
really activists
the
and
teens
they're
in the
like, "Oh,
twenties
tell me
are.
what happened. What did you
Yeah,
guys do and all that." So, yeah, I think you're right. I'm very excited about it. I'm just very proud to be
yeah.
the person that's telling the story, I I'm glad, I'm proud to be the purveyor of the story.
I'm super excited to have that feeling of knowing about a band before everybody else, and that
Yeah.
band predates me, right? Somehow I'm aware of this band before everybody else, and the band is older than I am,
Yeah.
and the book, to have the tie-in with the book, I am super looking forward to reading the book and tying it into these songs that I've been listening to for the past few weeks. I think it's a genius idea. You have a ton to be proud of,
It
and
was not my idea. Trust me. This is not, it was just
Doesn't
not
matter.
planned. It was
You
not
you were the
planned.
vehicle. You were the
There you go.
vehicle.
I'm just riding the wave,
there's no one
and
else
I'm
on this
trying to
earth.
stay grateful,
But by
and just
being the
say,
vehicle, it means you're the chosen one.
Yeah,
So,
there's no one else
oh,
on
so
this earth
oh,
that could have told this story.
just deal with it. Okay.
yeah.
Just
And
deal
then,
with
my soulmate, Craig, is right with me. I honestly, I really feel him, he's happy too.
I would certainly hope so, and
I
I
would
would
hope
hope
so.
he would be a listener to our show, hopefully,
Yeah, for
revealing
sure.
new music, and maybe we'd have him on. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
That would
Um,
be
yeah. I
very
wish he was
cool.
here. I wish he was
He
here.
is here. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
he really
is.
is.
He is.
uh,
Absolutely.
We're gonna see you in about 6 months. You get with Philip,
Thank you so
and we'll
much.
make this happen.
Awesome.
Thank you
Great
so
talking with you guys.
much.
Yeah, thank you so much
This
for
has
having
been
me on.
wonderful.
All right.
have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. We'll put this episode out before your book goes live. People can pre-order it now, so they don't have to wait. I'm personally going to wait until I can order the Audible audiobook version, because I want,
Okay.
that's my favorite way to devour a book. So I'm super excited to hear you recording that.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Deborah. Have a great
Take
Thank you
day.
so
care.
much.
Peace,
Thanks,
everybody.
Deborah.
Peace.
Bye bye.
Peace.
This amazing episode.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, we've had so many firsts in 2026, but this amazing episode of Bands You've Never Heard Of is and always will be a production of Ranch End Records. That's at ranchendrecords.com.
Band You've Never Heard Of is hosted by Gary Hawthorne and me, J.R. Stoffel.
It is also written completely by J.R. Stoffel and reacted to and improved by me, Gary.
All the songs were used with the permission, in this case, of Debora Masterson. I assume Craig Ingram would be cool with us playing these songs at this point. I think they're looking for
I
them to
think
get
he's
out
signed
into the
over.
zeitgeist.
I think via the tapes, the master tapes,
Yes.
signed over to Deborah. And you can check out Debora Masterson. That's Debora, no H, Masterson.com. That, once again, Debora, Masterson.com. The links will be in the show notes and also on binopod.com.
And all of the songs on the Freedom Quest album will be added. As fact, if you're listening to this, they have been added to the official playlist that it features all the songs by all the bands ever featured on Bands You've Never Heard Of. It's several days worth of music, and now this is by far the oldest music on that playlist.
Yes, and it is amazing. Get a taste of history right on binopod.com. Not only is it the latest and stuff you've never heard of, but now the oldest stuff you've never heard of.
Exactly.
So, if
All
you're
the
not
same
watching us, if you're just listening, try us out on youtube.com at binopod. I was informed this weekend that going by bands you've never heard of on YouTube is a no-go. You have to go by Binopod at Binopod, BYNHOPOD on YouTube.com.
There you go. You can also, we use that. That's just become the thing. That's the shorthand for the show, BinhoPod. And that's our email address too, binopod@gmail.com. You can use that if you want to pitch us on a band, a book, an artist, ask us questions, follow up, tell us how horrible we are. Anything you want us to communicate with us, just send us an email. That's one way you can do that.
Or butter us up like Deborah did. That was awesome.
Oh, that or Delop's PR, Deborah's PR guy, Philip. He's the guy that buttered.
Oh, he was
up.
the butterer?
Yes.
He used nice Irish butter too, I think. But anyway, all that plus merch, you can support us, which will actually be able to help us keep doing this and not having it coming out of our own pockets at www.binhopod.com. Just remember that, Binhopod, BYNHOPOD, whether it's at Gmail, whether it's at YouTube, or whether it's .com. That's how you get to us. If you're in Google and you just put in Binopod, that's going to bring you up to YouTube. It's going to bring you up to our website. It's going to bring you up to our, I won't bring you up to Facebook, but we got a TikTok. We've got an Insta. It'll bring you up to it.
There you go. So this episode is going to come out on April 8th, and which means if you're listening to this the week this episode drops, next week is the return of Bad Mother Nature to bands you've never heard of.
The return.
And they've already put out one single. If you're a fan of that band and are looking forward to them being on the show, you've heard Wasting My Time With You. Fantastic single. But there are 3 more songs you have not yet heard that will soon be released. But you will be able to hear them before they're released on next week's episode. April 15th episode of Bands You've Never Heard Of. Bad Mother Nature returns with 4 new songs, 3 of which this will be the first way you can hear them anywhere in the world. And I hope you love them as much as I do. I've been listening to them for months now. So.
And until that time, we'll see you. Thank you so much for listening all the way to the end, because we love the folks that listen to the end. We love the folks that listen all the way up to it, but we really love the folks that listen to the end.
And there'll be a special treat for you right after this. Peace out, everybody.
Treat.
yourself feel right. Life is just a concert, the stage is all around you. You're just a part of a big old band that's playing day and everybody now we're leaning on our crutches as we run. Ooh, yeah, yeah.
right, that's done. What's next?